Today, we are going to be comparing the 1958 Colt Jr. to the 1962 Astra Cub. Both these pistols are single-stacked, single-action blowback pistols that feature extremely compact dimensions and exposed hammer, serrated slide, toggle safety, retracted slide lock combo, magazine safety, with a magazine release button on the bottom of the left grip panel. As you can tell, these two pistols are almost identical. That's because they were made by the same manufacturer just a few years apart. Astra-Unceta Y Cia was a Spanish manufacturer that was established in 1908 and stayed in operation until 1997. The first Astra Cubs that came out in 1954 were a huge hit among shooters. Colt began producing the Colt Juniors in 1958 and produced over 40,000 of them until they discontinued it in 1968. So now let's go out and shoot each one on the range and see how they truly compare. We're going to start out with the Astra Cub. Now we are going to try out the 1958 Colt Cub to see how accurate it is. It was fun to kind of compare them both. Let's see which one ended up being a little bit better. The Colt Cub, I was a little off with that. I didn't feel that it felt as comfortable in my hand, but it still was a nice little shooter, especially when you are really close range and you're using it just as something to protect yourself on the spot. And then the Astra Cub, this one had a little bit nicer of a cluster. It was so much fun to compare the two guns. I mean, they are practically identical. This one was made in 1958. This is a 1962 model. The same exact weight, the same size. Actually, the magazines can even be interchangeable, which made me so excited to find out that these two guns are identical. They were made by the same weapons manufacturer and just took on different names. I shot a little bit better with the Astra Cub instead of the Colt Jr. And I think that's just because of the fact that it was, it's kind of a custom gun instead of the manufacturer gun that Colt Jr. has. So that was really neat to see. But it was fun to compare the guns and to see which one I really like the best, which honestly, I like both of them. So if you guys have any information on the Astra Cub or the Colt Jr., please share it with me, because that's what I want to do. I want to try to gather as much information so we can all learn and educate others with these fun guns. But you can't look through the deal if you're in the middle. Girls just gotta have guns.